Let's talk about what's going on in the market. So look at the weekly, the daily, and the intraday charts here. On the weekly chart here for the S&P 500, these are the futures, June contracts. The week just got started. Obviously, today's Monday. We do have a little bit of the SMI showing some weakness here. We've had divergence going on for quite a while. And, the MACD is still extremely elevated up here, way up at 205. So this is in crazy land up here. But it is pinching. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Now, this is a pretty critical week. Last week was very critical, and this week is still critical because this would be a week of confirmation that the market's actually weakening. Otherwise, if we get, let's say, we start getting a green candlestick for the rest of the week, and we get something like that, then I would say the market's still alive and strong, and it's, it may be topping, but it's not just, it would be unconfirmed the market's giving it up, right? And we could be just setting up for another rally. So this week's going to be pretty important to determine what's going on. Obviously Monday, too early to make any kind of conclusions about anything. So I'm just kind of taking a look here. The only other time since way back here in November, October of 2023 that we've seen this was right here. I think that's January. So this is the only other candlestick that has this similar kind of, very similar. In fact, you get this candlestick right here that's kind of this weak looking little small little candlestick for the week. We had the same thing happen right there. Then we got the big red candlestick, red candlestick. Okay, this one went green. So huge week in the market. Huge to determine whether or not this is actually weakening the market or not. So if we get through Friday and this candlestick is red, that's going to be the first time in a very, very long time that we've seen the market show weakness. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at on that. Okay, I haven't really changed any cycles here. Just going to hold it right here, June 16th. I think that's still valid. Okay, you can see I got a limit order here. That's fine, whatever. Okay, let's go look at the daily charts. All right, so here on the daily chart, let's see, this must have been, I guess that was Friday and that was Thursday. So obviously, Thursday was a huge down day, and then Friday was a pretty massive rebound day. And then today we got this little tiny candlestick. So, not a whole lot going on here. I mean, the market, from an SMI standpoint wants to do the bouncy bounce, but the MACD says, hold on for a second. We're going this way. So momentum long term is it's pointing down. It's got a massive gap in it. And we probably haven't seen that since, right? We saw that over here. Okay, but as you can see over here, even though we had this massive MACD pointing down, nothing materialized, right? You had this little tiny little pullback and it was off to the races. Okay. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that, we could see something similar. Right now they're almost like very similar in nature, right? They're not identical, but they're kind of similar. So, there's still not enough here on the daily chart for us to say. We did break down below some support last week. We broke below this 52.67, which was kind of a big deal. Okay, but it's really got to get below 51.81 and start making its way down into that area, coming below that. Okay, it's really got to get below this 51.81 area for the futures anyway. Okay, then we'll start knowing. And you got the 50 day right here at 51.22. That's a pretty big number. So that would be another point of resistance that it would have to break through. So yeah, the big tell is, the big challenge here for the market is this going to bounce and take off again like it did back there in January? Okay, is this going to do what this did? So we have to wait and see. Okay, it's still questions that need to be answered. And today wasn't exactly a big down day, was it? Today the market just kind of held there, and I'm not gonna say that's bullish, but it isn't bearish either. This is just kind of a mixed signal day, and I've seen this kind of days before. I'm just trying to look around here a little bit. Bum 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 bum. Bing bang bong. We kind of broke this pattern here. This one right here. This broke that pattern. Right? We had this pattern, now it broke it. And then we got this day, so it's a different beast here. Different beast. I'm just kind of looking to see what else is good, you know. Topping patterns usually don't just turn around in 1 to 2 days and start descending hard, though they can. And it may do that, but I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm just kind of going through candlesticks, guys, so just give me a minute. Sometimes you'll see very, very similar patterns at similar places in the market with similar momentum and all that stuff, and that's kind of what I'm eyeballing here. Going back here, just kind of checking. That stuff will stand out. It'll kind of have, just kind of looking for a kind of an odd topping pattern. Do. See, that one there is not the same. Once this broke down, it just broke down, took off, which is not what we got going on here. There's some similarities, but not enough, no. Same thing here. This just broke down and took off. Well, okay, hold on. Okay, they're not identical, but this is kinda, yeah, the same. Okay, right in here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at those kind of patterns. Okay, so let me just get a feel for where that is. That is August 7th, 2023. So let's zoom in on that. August 7th, 2023. Okay. Yeah. Now the pattern is not identical, but this is kind of similar. This was a little bit more dramatic and pulled back a little bit harder, like just on the average, but there's a similar pattern here because that candlestick right there is similar to what happened on let's see, that would be I guess what was that, Friday's candlestick? Let me just look real quick. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, okay. But these two candlesticks, this one right here and this one right here, look very similar to what we saw. Coming off of kind of a topping up here. This candlestick is not the same as one we just saw today. Okay, this one was much more robust, this green one. Well, then the next day it gave it up pretty hard and then just continued to give it up. There was this candlestick a few days later trying to make a run for it. Failed. And then it failed real hard. Eventually it failed real hard. Okay, so there is a similar pattern here. So we'll keep an eye on this, what's going on right now. This pattern has a lot of similarity to it. If it follows this pattern, then we could expect, you know, which doesn't mean that it will, but we could probably expect, let's see, 4540, 4400. So that's 150 points, we'll call it. Not a huge pullback from where it's at, but from the top to there was probably, yeah, maybe 300 points. 46. Not quite 300, like 250. So not a huge pullback by any means, but Okay, so the patterns are kind of similar. That had about 250 point pullback from the top. So if that were true here, we would get about what? Let's say 250, 51.33, about 50, 90, 80, 50, 80. Yeah. 50, 80, right down into this area, this one. If it followed exactly the same pattern, we'd get down to this number here. Okay, anyway, just looking at things that historically, a lot of times, if you look way back, you'll see patterns that show up again and again. And they're not always unique. Okay, let's look at the intraday charts and see what the trades of the day were. All right, so here we are on the 15-minute chart. Let's look and see, is there a trade of the day? Like, is there something that stands out? Well, yeah, there definitely is something that stands out. There's a couple opportunities here, but this is one that really stands out, obviously, right? This is about 6:45 a.m. this morning. Okay, GETUS Plus indicator said it thinks there was a trade here. Get the purple candlestick, and sure enough, nice little trade. Look at that. From about 52.50, maybe realistically, you had to come up here to 52.55. We got up to 56.5. 10-point run. That's a nice little run right there. So this one on the 15-minute chart stood out the most. Very simple trade, 10 full points. 2 contracts on the futures, that's $1,000. Okay. This is a day where probably, I don't really know because I don't trade a lot of options anymore, but this is a day where maybe options trader didn't make a lot of money. Okay, they made a lot of money like last week in that big pullback. But on a day like today, maybe options traders are not really doing very much, not making a lot of money here. Okay, and this is where futures just continue to shine. You might get a huge day. Like I said before, options are great, and if you get a big volatile day, you make a lot of money. But on the average, futures just keep continuously just making money. And over time, over the long run, they make more money. Okay. Anyways, this was a nice trade right here. This is just really, really sweet. Okay, so one huge opportunity in the 15-minute chart. And obviously there was some other activity here, but we're going to look at the 5-minute chart and see there was a lot of opportunities on the 5-minute chart despite this being a really small day. Now, I've talked about this before. Now we're on the 5-minute chart, and I've talked about this before. When you got a kind of a tight day, you want to be looking at the 5-minute chart. When you have tight range days, the money's made on the 5-minute chart. Okay. When you have huge big days like we did last week, which I think was Thursday or Friday, we had that huge 100-point day, then you don't need to look at the 5-minute chart. You're just trading with the momentum, and you just stay in that sucker and hold that position and make big bucks, thousands and thousands of dollars. But we don't get days like that every day, right? That's a nice, home run hit that happens every once in a while, and boom. Whether you're futures or options traders on that day, which I think was, like I said, I think it was Friday, whatever day it was, definitely made more money than futures trader if you grab the right product and the right strike price and all that stuff. Okay. But today, futures totally outclassed options. So to me, it's not really a one or the other. You really should be, ideally, to be honest with you, if I'm being honest, you want to be trading both, right? You want to know when one's going to serve you better than the other, okay? On a day like today, futures outclassed options. Last week, on a day like whatever it was, Friday, that big 100-point range day, okay, you're going to trade options, right? Because you're going to get a massive volatility movement, and you're going to make a lot of money if you pick the right strike prices and all that good stuff, okay? So it's not really a battle against futures and options. I'm just letting you know that both have their pluses and minuses. You just need to know when to use one or the other. So for futures here was today, the 5-minute chart was a pretty good money maker. Let's talk about it here. So here was an opportunity pretty early in the morning pre-market at 5:45. Okay, right there. Look at this trade, guys. Boom. And really, to be honest with you, since the SMI was kind of already elevated, you could take the chance to take this trade long, but really the money was made right there on the pullback because this was already elevated at this time. Sitting up in this area, that's a little risky. I wouldn't want to be trading long as my initial entry way above the 40 line like this. So just chill out, wait for the pullback, take advantage of it. And that was about, it wasn't a lot, but it was still a good 5 points, maybe 4 points. Yeah, maybe a good solid 5 points right there. Really nice. Okay. On futures for one E-mini, that's $250. If you're trading 2 contracts, that's $500. Okay. If your account's a little bit bigger, you're trading 3 or 4 contracts. Okay, you just out of this 5-point move, you might extract $750 or $1,000 on 4 contracts. Okay, just depends on the size of your contract. If you're going micros because they're really small account, that's fine. You might have made I don't know what it is. I'd have to do all the math, but I think, is it a 10th? I'm trying to think. I don't remember if it's a 10th or a 50th. I can't remember which one it is. I think the micros are a 10th. Yeah, they're a 10th of the size of the E-mini. Okay. So if you're just trading one little E micro, this is probably like $30, $25, $30 right here. Okay, and for a really, really small retail account, that might be great for a new trader, right? $30 for the day. I mean, not for the day, but just for this little entry and exit. Yeah, that's great. Because remember, this is just one trade for the day. You trade one little micro short, and you make $30 here. Let's say $25, $30. Okay. For a really tiny retail account, I'm not having a problem with that. For larger accounts, like I said, I already talked about the numbers that would probably the way they would play out. Okay. So that's a nice little trade right there that you, if you understand to just be a little patient, let the SMI roll over, you make some money right there. Now you can understand that the market, generally speaking, right now is showing some weakness. So, we're kind of in this in between. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? What's the market doing? It's showing some weakness. So I don't really have a problem with a trader if they were asked my opinion, because I only give my opinion, I don't give advice. I would say, look, you can do whatever you want. You want to trade long, trade long. You want to trade short, trade short. I think eventually, if this market does what I think it's going to do, then it's going to start getting bearish here over the next few weeks. Okay, let's talk about the next entry. There were so many opportunities on the 5-minute chart. And I talk about this all the time. On tight range days, you want to be looking at the 5-minute chart, use the Gittes Plus indicator. You're going to make some good money. So here it was at 9:15, okay? Right here, purple candlestick shows up and bam, look at this run. So even though the market's kind of bearish right now, there's no reason not to take advantage of this run. It's a bullish run. Just do it. Oh, look at that. That's from 55 all the way up to 65 and a little bit of change. So another 10 points. Really easily, this was 10 points, more like about 12. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you, and I do this sometimes so people can get a feel for, well, how much money can you really make? Okay, I'm just gonna put points in here. This was about, I'm gonna say realistically, this was about 4 points for your average trader. Okay, even though this was a total of 5 points. Maybe a little more. I'm going to say just probably like 6 points here. I'm just going to say 4. And then this one here was easily 10 points. And then it's probably more like 12. Okay, so I'm going to put 12 here because I think realistically 12 could have been made here. All right. So that's your first trade, your second trade. Let's look at this one right here. 11:05. So late morning. You get the purple candlestick. You got to wait it out a little bit. You got to wait it out. Okay, it had the base. Once you saw the SMI start popping, boom, you're in the trade. So maybe you're getting the trade like right here because you got to give it some room to breathe. 52.50, again, all the way back up to 60. Another 10 points, and this was an easy 10 points. Not like I'm talking extreme edges here, because we're not going to take the top of that those candlesticks, and we're not going to take the very bottom down here in the garbage can, because it's just really hard to hit this very bottom, very top. So just try to take the block, right? So 4, 12, 10. Isn't that amazing? There was a little something here and there was a little something there. I'm not really sure. I would have nibbled on those. I mean, this is not actually a bad trade. It was pretty obvious what was going to happen once it started to roll over, but it's probably only worth about maybe 2 or 3 points in here. We'll say 2 points for an aggressive trader who really got in there. And then over here, on this entry here, right near this will be the end of futures, by the way, which a lot of intraday traders can't leverage. This is another great thing about futures. But this went from 52.5 up to about 57.5. So that was 5 points. I say you get 3 out of that. You might get 3. Okay. So let's add it up. These are realistic ranges I think could be extracted. Let's say if I was trading this, okay, and I was active all day long, and I just wanted to extract the maximum out of the market that I think I could do as a trader, this is realistically what I think I could do. So 16, 26, 28 and 3 is 29 points. Okay. 29 points. Okay. That is huge. I can't begin to tell you, that's just absolutely massive. All right. And 2 contracts. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, let me do some quick math here. I think I'm not sure if this is 2,900 or 1,800. This is either $2,900 or $1,800, this trading here. Just doing this today in this tiny range day, right? Futures just opened up just now at 5 o'clock. Little candlestick showing up there, so that's why I'm getting some activity here. Night session started. Let's go look at the spreadsheet, and we'll see if this is 2,900 or 5,800 for 2 contracts. I mean, 2,900 or 1,800. No, that wouldn't. Sorry, it wouldn't be 1,800. It would be 1,450. It's either 2,900 or 1,450. Let's go take a look at the spreadsheet. All right, here we are on the spreadsheet, and this line right here. Let me just move this. This thing's kind of giving me a hard time. Hold on a second. We're looking at this line. Over to the left over here is the symbols. I'm just not showing it. Okay, but this is E. This is the E mini. So I just put in there from 5,000 to 5,029 to simulate to 29 points. And look at, guys, I was right. $2,900 was made today. And I mean easily. That would have been an easy $2,900 if you just stayed active in the market from like pre-market all the way and just put a work day in and you put in the work. Okay, that's for E-minis, 2 E-mini contracts. One split in half, we're talking 1,450. Okay, for micros, you divide this by 10, so you'd made $290 for the day. Okay, if you're trading one micro, just one micro, which is really cheap. It's about $1,400 with a margin. Okay, I'm assuming probably most people, maybe they could squeeze in 2 micros out of there, maybe 2,800, maybe 3. So you would just multiply this times 3, right? If you had 3 contracts, 2, you get where I'm headed with that, right? So it just goes to show you can make a lot of money even on a tight range day. And I talk about this all the time. When you get a tight range day, make sure, let's go back to the charts. We'll finish up the video with this. Right back here on the 5-minute chart. When you get a tight range day, you want to make sure you're paying close attention to the 5-minute chart. Okay? Because the daily range was kind of small, right? The daily range, I mean, we don't need to look at the daily chart to know what the daily range is. We can just come here and do it on the 5-minute chart. Let's see, where was the highest point? The highest point was either this right here or this right here. Let's just take this one, it's close enough. 52.67, we'll call it. And the low was about 52.43, okay? So what is 67 and 43? That's about 30, 60, about 34 points, right? So if my math is right, this is like 34 points from here to here, right? This is just 34-point range day. So it's considered a small day, right? But futures, in the way that the GITTIS Plus indicator operates and shows opportunities throughout the day, especially on that 5-minute chart on a tight day like today. So early in the day, I mean, how do you recognize a tight day? Well, you'll know. It doesn't go up very high, right? You want to be looking at the futures. What happened overnight? Where was the low point, which was here, right? And how high did it run, especially on entry for, especially pre-market, 7:30 in the morning. My time here in Texas, you'll have to adjust for your time. But you want to be really paying attention to that time. That's going to kind of often sets the tone for the day. And you get a good sense for the market. Not always, but it'll help you at least give you a sense for the market. And then you begin to realize, wow, this market's tight today and it's a small range. Bang, man, you start making money on these tight little signals. And next thing you know, you're up 1,000, maybe 1,500. Maybe you do the whole shebang. Maybe you traded the whole thing. You made 2,900. Maybe it was somewhere in the middle of that. I don't know, whatever. But you walk away on a nice banking pocket, some nice bank for the day, where everybody else just went, gosh, today was a kind of a cheesy day. And you're like, no, it wasn't. So I encourage you that if you're an options trader, of course, keep trading options, but you should, I shouldn't say need, but you should, in my opinion, get your futures account open, because you're missing opportunities on tight range days like this. When you're an options trader and you got a dead day like today, my guess is if some of the members would tell me, yeah, options were kind of weak today, they might have made up some pocket change, but they make a lot of money today in options. Then I would say that today was the day to trade futures. You set your options trading aside and you trade your futures. Okay. Then on the big days, you trade your options. Right? So for options, and even for me, I should be trading options on the days where they're huge days, and instead of just trading futures, I'd probably make more money. Okay. So you need to put that into your arsenal, in my opinion, because you're going to extract more profit, right? Every week or every month, every year. It's just going to begin to really start to add up. So anyway, in a nutshell, today was actually, believe it or not, a huge profitable day for futures traders. Okay, futures just shine. They shine all the time. They just shine all the time. Futures are always going to be profitable. Okay. The only time that options are going to be better in futures is big volatile days. That's when options are going to be futures. All the rest of the time, like medium volatility, or like today, the volatility was low and that was a really tight range day. Futures crushed options. Guarantee it. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I mean, I think for those that watch, I think you can see the value of the service, right? If you want to become a member, stick around to the very end. For everybody else, well, happy trading. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Let's talk about the membership. If you want to become a member, there is a discord.com link in the description on YouTube right below this video, okay? So click on the discord.com link. Make sure you read those instructions first. Then click on the discord.com link. It's going to bring you over to this server. Get a server. Then you click on server shop. Guys and gals, $7.99. I mean, I just showed today on a very tight range day that a trader who put in an honest day's worth of work from early morning to closing for futures could have made $290 on one micro contract. One. We're talking about a very small retail account. And I used to be there years ago. That's how I used to trade. I could only afford one little micro futures contract. And so I know what it's like to be a really tiny retail account. But today just proves, I mean, $290. I mean, take $8 and divide it into $290. How many months does that pay for? I mean, come on. The membership is so crazy, crazy inexpensive, and the value is amazing. The streaming charts are down here. Okay, when you join, click on streaming charts down here. You're going to get the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour chart for the S&P 500. Okay, that Get Us Plus indicator that I showed throughout all of the trades of the day on the 15-minute, the 5-minute chart. And I didn't show the 1-hour chart today, but it's on there as well. It's going to send an alert anytime it thinks there's a trade. It's going to send it over this channel right here. Okay. I also have, when you join, you can just ask me in this chat up here if you want to, hey, get us, where is the link for the gold stream? And I'll give you the link for the gold streaming charts. It's like that's included. So you get streaming charts for both the S&P 500 and gold. Okay. And of course, alerts go to the gold alerts channel here. All right. There's premium symbols every day that go in here. I think today I saw dry way for futures. I think there was copper in there. I know I've had members ask me about copper. Well, it showed up on the futures symbols. So you might want to go in there and look at the symbols today. All right. There's some other symbols in there as well for optionable stocks. Industry symbols are in there today. All right. There's quite a bit going on this channel. You might want to look at those symbols. Okay. The Get Us Only Post channel, this channel is where I put the link for this video. So you can go in there and just watch the video right on the Discord server. Or you can go to YouTube, it'll take you to YouTube. You can decide which way you want to do it. Okay, a lot of people probably just watch it right on the Discord server. You just click on the channel and watch it. Also, each night, I notify all the members when the nightly email goes out. So you might want to right click on this, turn notifications on. All right. Speaking of emails, and the emails only channel, when you join, drop your email address into this emails only channel, and you're going to get the nightly email. The nightly email includes the daily chart of the S&P 500. It has the cycles on there. It has the support lines on there. A really good chart. And I usually give 2 or 3 sentences, maybe a paragraph of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do the next day. Okay. And I'm going to do that tonight for the members. They're going to get an email. And some people join just for the email. And they don't look at the charts during the day because they're busy doing their thing. Some people like to watch. I mean, we had quite a few people watching the stream today. I don't remember what it was, but it was a decent amount of people in there watching the streaming charts today. So the membership has grown, and I think people are slowly beginning to understand the value for $8 is tremendous here. Guys, I make way more money trading than I do off the business I have here with the service. Okay, my trading makes way more money than me charging people $8. You know, I keep it fairly cheap because I know what it's like to be a retail trader. You don't want to spend a bunch of money on a service, but you still want to get a good value, right? So that's why the service is inexpensive, because I've been there. All right, fixed income. Sometimes I trade some corporate bonds. If I do, I put them in there. Solar activity. About 2 weeks ago, I forecasted there was going to be earthquakes, and sure enough, there was, and that was based on solar activity. There was an earthquake in the south, 2 earthquakes in the South Pacific, a 6.4 and a 6.5, and then they had that massive earthquake, a 7.5 in Taiwan. I predicted those earthquakes were going to hit. Not exactly, I didn't know the locations, but I predicted it would be a 6.5 or greater earthquakes based on solar activity, and it was spot on. I've done this several times now. Yes, I know people probably think it's nuts, but I don't care. The seismologists, they're jokers, man. They don't know what they're doing. They always show up after the fact about, oh yeah, we had an earthquake and then, you know, the tectonic plates moved. And they come up with their theories, and they're wrong. Their theories are just flat out wrong, or at least they're partially wrong. And they don't give any credit that the sun is creating earthquakes. That's right, it does. If that's not true, then how did I predict it? And you can, when you join, you can go and look at this channel. Go look in this channel, and you'll see that I predicted it. Okay, and I said in there, I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half, whatever it was, I said a couple times, I said in there, the probability of earthquake is increasing. I know that because I'm tracking solar activity. And this has an impact on society, not just the earthquakes, but just solar energy, the way the solar flux hits the earth, how it impacts our physiology, our mental state of mind, and yes, even the markets, okay? All right, then these two channels up here, Member Chat and S&P 500, this is where basically the members chat, right? They chat with one another. And I'm always available, right? If you have a support issue, you can put it in the member chat. Usually the only support issue that ever shows up is, hey, I'm not getting my email because Discord has done something stupid and wacky and makes people change their name and the emails get messed up. That happens occasionally. And then I go and fix it. All right. So just think about this. This is everything you're getting. Hello, phone. This is everything you're getting for $7.99. This is all members only. The public cannot access these channels in here. All of this. You're getting the S&P 500 and the gold streaming charts, both. You're getting the alerts that go with them. You're getting the premium symbols I talked about. Okay. You're getting the video Monday through Thursday. You're getting the nightly emails Monday through Thursday. Okay. You're getting me tracking some other really cool stuff that impacts a lot of other activities on the earth. Okay. And of course you get the member chat and you get my support. All right. And it's just an amazing deal. I said this before lately. I don't know how I don't have thousands of members. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've shown time and time again how this service makes a lot of money and makes traders a lot of money if they're just patient. And people still hold on with a tight fist. They'll hold that $8, man. They won't let it go. I don't want to be ripped off. Oh, it's just a rip off. This guy's just ripping people off. Look, no, I'm not ripping people off. Okay. The service is generally there to try to help people to become better traders and to make profit. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to make profit because everybody's unique. There's different account sizes. Some people are very mature. Some people are not. Some people are really impatient. Some people are patient. It depends on the person, okay? But I honestly believe that if you're patient and learn how to use the service, you're going to make some money, okay? You're going to make more than enough money to cover this $8 a month. And when you join, matter of fact, you can ask me, hey, Gittes, where is the video for new members? And I'll give it to you, okay? It helps you basically understand how I go about using the Gittes Plus indicator and how I go about my trading. Kind of like what I showed today in the trades of the day. All right, one last thing, the rules. Got to read the rules, guys. The refund rules are in there, so please read it. It's up to you to know the rules. If you come on the server and start breaking the rules, well, you're going to get me in your face, and you may not like it. So read the rules. Okay, the refund rules are in there. The please be nice and respectful to everybody else rules. Don't post any junk. Don't post nasty language. Don't post links to nasty things. I'm not going to tolerate it. Okay. This is a conservative server. I'm a Christian. Okay. So don't bring your leftist junk on here. I'm not saying if you're a Democrat or whatever, you can't join the service. Of course you can join the service. Just don't bring your politics on the server. I'm not going to tolerate it. Okay. Be nice. Be respectful. If you can't do that and you start being a jerk, I'm going to warn you. I'm going to delete the material or the content you put on the server. And then if it gets bad enough, I'm going to kick you. If it gets real bad, you're going to get banned. And it's going to be your own fault. So don't do it. And remember, read the refund rules. All right. I got to say these things, guys, because you always, every once in a while, guys and gals, you get this one or two jerks that show up, and they want to shove their ego around. Some try to do it clever. Some are very direct, whatever. I'm just not going to tolerate it on the server. Okay. I try to be respectful of people, and I expect the same in return on the server, okay? Let's see. What else is in there? Lastly, is a disclaimer in there that I do not give financial advice. Okay, everything on this server is educational purposes only. It doesn't matter if I'm posting it or somebody else is posting it. I don't care what or who is posting it. Everything is strictly educational purposes. You are responsible for your own trades, okay? No financial advice is implied whatsoever. So I got to say that too, because this is the way the world we live in. All right, so just understand this is for educational purposes only. Use it to your benefit, guys and gals. I mean, $8 is crazy cheap, okay? Use it to your benefit, all right? If the membership takes off and I get like 1,000 members, I may be forced to raise the price because I might have to hire a couple people to come in and handle support and do all that stuff, you understand? So right now, the membership is super cheap, all right? And hopefully I can keep it that way. But if I have to hire someone part-time to come in, if the membership takes off, which I think it's going to do that, okay, and I need someone to handle support and do some other stuff, because that's usually what happens when businesses start to grow, then I may have to jack up the price a little bit, all right? So please, do yourself a favor. Don't be so tight-fisted about the $8, okay? Come in. I would spend $25, okay, times this by 3. $25, 8 times 3 is 24, $25, right? Be patient, learn how to use the service, watch the videos, and bang, man, you're going to start probably becoming a profitable trader, okay? All right, that's it for now. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to you all real soon again next time.